تعريف القتل المبرر هو القتل بدون قصد شرير أو إجرامي. إنه نوع من الدفاع المستخدم في القانون الجنائي، حيث يعذر قتل شخص آخر بسبب تعرض الطرف المخالف لتهديد وشيك بالموت أو الإصابة الجسدية الخطيرة. جريمة قتل في هذه الحالة يعتبر بلا لوم، وبذلك فإن القدرة على إثبات أو دحض هذا الدفاع غالبا ما تتلخص في بعض التفاصيل الفنية الأكثر دقة، والتي غالبا ما تعتبر غير مهمة في ظل ظروف مختلفة. في حوالي الساعة 3:30 مساء في 19 جويلية 2018 قادت بريتني جايكوبس البالغة من العمر 29 عاما إلى دائرة متجر للأطعمة يقع في كليروتر فلوريدا. في مقعد الركاب كان صديقها ماركيز ماكلولين البالغ من العمر 28 سنة، بينما كان في المقعد الخلفي أطفالهم الثلاثة الذين كانوا جميعا دون سن السادسة في نفس الوقت. لما وصلوا للمتجر أوقفت بريتني السيارة بجانب المتجر، فقط في مكان مخصص للمعاقين موجود بجانب المبنى. ثم نزل ماركيز ودخل المتجر مع ابنه البالغ من العمر 5 سنوات لشراء المشروبات والوجبات الخفيفة لمدة 30 ثانية تقريبا في وقت لاحق. بينما كان بريتني لا تزال داخل السيارة، توقف مايكل دريجكا البالغ من العمر 47 عاما بسيارته تويوتا، وأوقفها بشكل غير قانوني إلى جانبها ونزل من شاحنته، وبدأ في الدوران حول سيارة الأم بحثا عن لافتة لوقوف السيارة المعطلة، وتبع ذلك مشاجرة لمدة 20 ثانية، مما أفاده شهود عيان داخل المتجر أنهم سمعوا مشادة قوية وعدوانية بين رجل وأنثى. ماركيز خرج من المتجر بعد 75 ثانية من المواجهة، ثم اقترب من دريك ودفعه بقوة إلى الأرض. بعد 2.5 ثانية بالضبط بعد ذلك، بينما لا يزال على الأرض، قام دريك بسحب مسدس جلوك عيار 40 وأطلق طلقة واحدة على ماركيز الذي ركض مرة أخرى إلى المتجر وانهار أمام ابنه. وصل المسعفون في غضون 19 دقيقة ونقلوه إلى المستشفى مورتين، وأعلن عن وفاته الساعة 4 مساء. التقطت لقطات CCTV الحادثة بأكمله.
بعد إطلاق النار، وضع دريك مسدس في سيارته بينما كان ينتظر وصول تطبيق القانون.
Are they yours?
No, they're Eric's. He's been cooperative with me though.
See.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's take them off. Hey, we're gonna take them off. You're gonna be cool?
Oh gosh,
Yeah. Okay. I don't know you. I don't know nothing about what's going on.
I know. You have my absolute
Okay.
word, sir.
Okay.
Detective?
Yes.
You have my word, detective.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Welcome. Anything else right now? All right. The same type. We'll do this as quick as we can. Okay.
Thanks, sir.
Yes, sir. See, you're holding your arm. Is it hurt or something?
Yeah, it's starting. Everything's starting to get sore. Where it hit me from behind and,
No,
and
I
where
don't-
landed. That's all. Everything's.
Is anything
starting to get sore.
broken?
No.
Torn?
No.
Okay. All
Just
right.
scraped up.
Okay.
Hey, Michael, how you doing? I'm Detective Upton.
Left hand, please.
Left hand, okay. Sorry to have to meet you under these stressful circumstances a little bit,
Myself as well.
but yeah. Hey, I'm not the. This is Detective Shields. I'm
How you
sorry.
doing, detective? Nice to meet you, sir.
I'm not the case agent in this. I'm a detective in the same unit. The case agent and the assistant case agent, if that makes any sense to you, are going to come speak to you in just a few moments. Okay. Of course, before any of us speak to you and try to go into any kind of details about anything or anything like that, I'd like to read you your rights. Are you familiar with your rights, Miranda rights? Okay. Okay. The reason we wanted to do that first, of course, we don't want to talk to you about anything. And again, the case agents are going to come in here in just a few moments. It's my understanding that your vehicle was still.
It's not a problem.
It's at the store.
Right by my house, so
Okay.
that's fine.
Okay. We have it all cordoned off. It's safe and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that parking lot, really.
Okay.
I never have. That's my store. I go in there every day.
Would you be willing to give us consent to go inside your vehicle and just for documentation purposes and that kind of thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay?
Yeah.
And we'll be with you momentarily, okay?
Yeah, no problem.
It's gonna be two other guys, not quite as handsome as me, but they'll be in here in just a minute, okay?
Don't let them hear that.
Hey, partner.
Watch out.
Hey, my name's George Moffett. This
How you
is
doing?
Richie Remmer.
Gentlemen.
You've been sitting here for a while. You need to use the restroom or anything?
Yes, please.
Okay. You get enough water and everything?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Mhm.
I need to get rid of it.
Yeah. Just to reiterate, man, my name's George Moffett. All right, we're just here at the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office North District Station. Today's date's July 19th, 2018. We just want to talk to you, reference today's shooting. Just go through your kind of day, like right before you get to the store.
Oh, just coming back, going home, stopping at the store first, and then right around the corner to home.
Where do you live at, sir?
1116 Charles Street, Clearwater.
Are you employed, sir?
No, sir, retired.
Okay. Good for you, man.
Well, it never lasts.
I wish I was
Yeah,
retired.
it never lasts. I got to retire for about 13 years.
You mind if I call you Michael?
That's,
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, and you can call me George. So just walk through, you leave your house and you drive up to the store?
No, I was coming back from the Wawa down on Missouri and Rosary to get some cash and headed home, stop by the store, boom.
Oh, okay. So you get to the store, tell me, kind of walk me through what happens.
I park my car and that's my store. I'm there every day.
هذه المرة الثانية التي قال فيها هذا الشيء، القول أنه يحاول بالفعل إعطاء روايته للأحداث شكلا من أشكال التبرير المعزز قبل أن يذكرها من خلال كونه متجره ووجوده هناك كل يوم، وهو يصنف نفسه كشكل من أشكال الحامي أو الوصي، وبالتالي يميزه تصرفات نقية ومنطقه وراءها بنية صافية.
Waiting on somebody.
Okay.
So I have a pet peeve about it.
Sure.
I, said, do you mind, moving? There's a spot next to her and there's spots out front. I said, do you mind moving and waiting on somebody? And
So there's plenty more spots.
there's plenty more spots,
Okay.
yes. And she took that as an affront that I would speak to her that way. Started getting a little, yelling and then of course.
So you walk up to her car?
Actually, I was walking around it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, because I parked here, she was here.
Okay.
Okay, so I just checked for placards, plain and simple. And she inquired about what was going on.
Okay.
And that's when I told her, about the handicap spots.
What did you tell her?
I said, it's not very polite to park here when there's other people who need to use this. She says, is it affecting you directly? I said, if my mother-in-law rolls in, yes, it will be. So, there's nothing, there was none of that between us at all.
Okay.
No, nothing. It was just heated words, that's all. About
Okay.
how I was speaking to her, I guess.
Okay.
She said, what do I have to do to get my man? I said, well, what's going to happen then? And a little more arguing back and forth, and I never saw what hit me from
She was the driver of the car?
She was in the car, yeah. She was the
Okay.
only person in the car.
All right.
That I know of.
You didn't see anybody else on the car?
Tinted windows, almost dark,
Okay.
couldn't see through.
All right. So you guys are talking?
Yeah, exactly. She's out of the car by this time.
Okay.
Standing next to it, that's all.
Okay.
And I got hit from the left side and thrown straight backwards in line with her car.
Okay.
So if you saw the two white ladder lines
Mhm.
next to the thing, that's where I was standing. Okay, so I went almost straight back after I got hit.
What do you mean hit?
I was standing like this talking to her.
Okay.
I was hit from right here. The shoulder was pulled in front of me, and then I was.
Oh, okay.
And then
All
I
right.
hit the ground.
Okay.
Okay. I'm pretty sure.
We'll get somebody to take pictures as well.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that too much, but I'm pretty sure I landed my wrist under my gun. Actually, that's how I landed, because that's hurt like a son of a bitch now.
So you landed on the pavement?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I was on the ground. So
So-
that time I had to put hand down to get hand out from underneath. As I come out, I start drawing my weapon. As I start leveling off my weapon, he makes his next step towards me, and 21-foot rule.
ما يعرف بقاعدة 21 قدم. التدريب في الدفاع عن النفس هو للاستعداد ضد هجوم بسكين قصير المدى أو الهجوم اليدوي أو شخص مسلح بمسدس فقط. فإن الفكرة هي أن بحلول الوقت الذي يحدد فيه الفرد تهديدا مميتا بسحب سلاحه الناري وإطلاق النار، يكون المهاجم قد أغلق بالفعل حتى مسافة تصل إلى 21 قدم. وهذا يعزز فكرة أنه ينبغي للمرء أن يكون لديه مسدس يدوي جاهز عندما يدخل الهدف في المنطقة. ولكن ما تركه دريك هو أن هذا التمرين التدريبي يركز بشدة على أن حقيقة المهاجم يجب أن يكون لديه سلاح في يديه، وهذا هو المكون الرئيسي إذا كان لأحدهم استخدام هذه القاعدة كمبرر للاستعمال الفوري للقوة المميتة.
I'm on the ground already.
Right. Okay.
It happened so fast, and that was that.
Did he say anything to you?
Negative. Not a word.
Okay. Did you say anything to him?
No.
Like back up? Or?
No.
يمكن افتراض أن المشتبه فيه ردة فعله محترمة لأنه شعر بتهديد من السؤال. ضع نفسك في موقفه، ولكن افترض أنك تعرف بدون شك أنك على حق، وأنه لم يكن هناك خيار آخر سوى الإطلاق على المهاجم. عند إطلاق سؤال منطقي مثل هذا قد تستغرق لحظة لفهم مبدئه وإدراجه، لأنك لن تحتاج إلى أن تكون في حالة ذهنية دفاعية، لن تشعر بأي تهديد، وهي طبيعة بشرية بأن تكون فضوليا بشأن الأمور التي تتعلق بصنع القرار الخاص بنا. إنها الفطرة التي ننمو بها كأشخاص، ولكن إذا كنا في حالة ذهنية دفاعية فسيتم التغاضي عن هذا الفضول الطبيعي، حيث سيتم توجيه تركيزنا نحو الخارج، نحو تصورات الآخرين بدلا من الداخل تجاه أنفسنا. في هذه الحالة يمكن القول أن دريك لديه استجابة فورية خيالية من أي تفكير على الإطلاق، فيحاول أن يلمح أنه شعر بالتهديد من قبل المهاجم، لدرجة أن فكرة إعطاء أي نوع من التحذير هي مفهوم غير منطقي. إنه متغير من الاستجابة العاطفية يعرف بالنداء إلى التطرف.
So you draw your weapon. Talk to me about that. From
Well, the way I was able to draw it, I couldn't level it with one hand, so I had to eventually try and bring my left around for support.
Okay.
And he made his step towards me, and that was that.
How many steps did he make towards you?
Just one step.
Okay. And then that was that. Talk to me about that. What do you do from there?
I made sure there's no other threat around him because it spun him a little bit, and he ran into the store. Immediate threat gone. I did have her as a potential.
No, I mean beforehand, before you fired the gun.
Ask me the question.
See, before you fired the gun.
Yes.
Once you pull the gun out.
Yes.
Okay. You said he stepped towards you.
Yeah.
Because
He made one more step. Right. He made one more step towards me.
And then what do you do?
I didn't say a word. Gun was already out.
Okay. What do you do?
Fire my weapon.
How many times you fire the weapon?
One time, sir.
Okay. So you fire the weapon and then basically just scan.
I ended up standing up, made sure all of the threats were cleared, reholstered my weapon.
Okay. All right. So he didn't come back at you again or anything like
Not
that?
after he left.
Where did he go?
Into the store.
Okay. Did you strike him?
No.
No, I mean with a gun.
No. I don't know. I
Okay.
assume so, yes, because there was an ambulance there.
Okay. So you don't know if you hit him?
I know nothing, but I would assume so.
Okay. All right. So what do you do? Talk to me from there after you reholster your weapon.
After I reholster my weapon, everything's clear. Somebody's screaming about hurt kids. Somebody's screaming about hurt kids. Somebody thought they were in the car. So I said, everybody's inside, see if you can get her to unlock the car. And that was it. All I remember is screaming about kids.
Okay. What do you do from after you hear somebody talking about her kids and stuff?
Everything's all, well, I asked one person to go, see if she can unlock her car from the inside, and then I decided to extricate myself from the situation completely and just back to my vehicle and wait for you. So I took my firearm out, unloaded it, locked it, left it in the car.
What do you mean you locked it back?
Yes.
Okay.
Unloaded it, locked it back, waited for you.
Okay. Did you unload mag or anything like that? Or?
No, God,
Okay.
no. Just
All
the
right.
one that was in the pipe.
We're gonna kind of slow it down a little bit and because I'm gonna be asking specific questions about the incident. And again, just like just be truthful with me.
No trouble there.
And just because we got to kind of dot our I's and cross our T's, exactly what happened. I know you kind of went through it a little fast or whatever, so we're going to just go back a little bit. Is that okay?
Whatever you need
All right.
to, brother.
Appreciate it. So you exit your vehicle, right? Like you always do, and you're getting ready to walk in the store.
Yeah.
And what do you see from there?
No placard on the front of the car, because
What-
I have to walk by the car to...
So you approach the vehicle?
No, front of the vehicle, yeah.
Okay. And your intentions on walking around the cars to look for placards?
Always, yeah.
Okay. Where do you
usually
normally
take pictures if there's,
Okay. You take pictures if you don't see no placards, or
Correct.
you take, okay. Where do you normally look for placards?
License plate, windshield, and the front.
Okay.
See if there's a front license plate or anything.
Okay. When you approached the vehicle, was the driver, did you make eye contact with the driver?
I couldn't see the driver. The windows are so dark.
Okay.
I didn't know anybody was in the car.
Right.
Truthfully.
So her window wasn't rolled down?
No,
The
not
driver's
at the
side?
time, no.
Okay. So you start walking around the car?
Yeah, I walked from the front to the back and then just back up again. And
Okay.
I took no pictures. I just, we
Sure.
assumed we'd go and keep going, but then the window came down.
يقول بأن المشاجرة بدأت بمجرد خروج السائقة من نافذتها. لكن نقول بخلاف ما ذكره الادعاء أن المشتبه به اكتشف السائق من خلال الزجاج الأمامي وتداخل معها في هذه اللحظة. ثم تنزل النافذة في هذه اللحظة.
Was the car running?
I couldn't tell. It's so quiet,
Okay.
these damn cars. It doesn't sound anything like mine, which is like a
So then when you come back around, is the window rolled down at that point?
No,
or-
only after I get back up in front and she, on my way into the store, and she asked me,
So she rolls her window down?
yes, sir.
Do you make verbal contact with her first, or did
She made verbal contact with me first, and
Well,
I
sir-
explained what I did. Asked me what I was doing, of course.
Okay, so she asked you what? What are you doing?
What are you
Walking around
doing?
my car?
Yeah, I
And
said
you said-
I'm looking for handicap placards,
Okay,
And then it ensued with, well, what's that matter
So-
to you?
okay.
And,
so when she rolls her window down, she says, hey, what are you doing? How far are you away from the car?
to the front of the car.
Okay, so you're standing at the front?
Yeah, about the front of the car, which is the
Are
edge
you
of
on
the
the curb?
sidewalk. Yeah.
Okay, so you're on the sidewalk?
Yeah, I'm not exactly in front of the car. I'm on the sidewalk at the front of the car.
Okay. So after you start talking to her, do you approach the driver's side of the car?
Yeah, just of course. I don't want to yell back and
Right.
forth.
That's
yeah.
that's understandable.
Yeah.
So how far do you approach the vehicle,
I'm
distance-wise, approximately?
قد تتساءل لماذا يطرحون مثل هذه الأسئلة المحددة بينما تم تسجيل الحادث بأكمله تحت المراقبة، لكن ليسوا كذلك. يسألون لجمع الحقائق ويطلبون ما إذا كان المشتبه به سيعدل الحقائق لتتلائم مع روايته الخاصة. يمكن استخدام أي شيء يلفقه ضده، خاصة أثناء استجواب الشهود لإبطال مصداقيته.
It's going to be. She's in the car. And it's
Let's say I'm the driver.
She can probably smell your breath.
Okay.
After a while, it's not like I was leaning in her car or anything.
Hopefully you can't smell my breath.
Oh yeah, hopefully you can smell mine.
So can you show me how far? Let's say I'm her. How far do you come up to her?
By the window.
Okay, so a couple feet.
Yeah, I'm not
Okay.
going to encroach into her car.
All right. So you guys are bickering back and forth. Next thing you know, you get pushed.
I'm blind. Pushed nothing. Tackled. I'm
Okay.
blindsided, dude.
Okay.
I am on the ground hard.
So he shoved you pretty hard.
No, for what it felt like is he come running at me.
Okay, like full force.
Dude, I haven't been hit like that since I was in my 20s.
Okay, all right. So he shoves you to the ground. You fall to the ground.
Correct.
Okay.
Slightly, dude. Not very. Slightly.
Okay. Do you hit your head?
Don't know. Don't feel anything.
Okay.
Don't know.
So you don't know if
I
he's
sideways like this. I know this landed under my gun. Okay, so I landed on my wrist on my gun.
okay
Had to reach over to extract my hand.
to push yourself
To
back.
push myself up off of that. And as I'm reaching and pulling around, he's standing in front of me. As I come up, he's taking his step towards me.
Okay. Now let's discuss that. If you don't mind, could you sit on the ground real quick for me?
That's where I was.
I don't want you to hurt it.
No.
Okay.
We do.
So you're on the ground, right?
I'm on the ground like this.
Okay. How far is the guy away?
Front of the car.
He's at the front of the car?
Front of the
So he's on
car.
that sidewalk kind of curb area?
No, he's in front of the car, off the sidewalk.
Okay, right on the edge?
You got it.
So how far do you think he's away from you?
I might have been right at the edge of the back of the front door.
Of the car?
Correct.
Okay.
All right.
So he's up by the front tire?
He's up by the front tires. No, further than that, man.
Further than this?
Further than that, man.
Okay.
I was back further. He had to be further than that.
Okay. So he's about this far,
Yeah.
maybe even further.
And as I come up this way, because I have to come up off my hand, all right, I bring the gun out with me. And as I'm coming back this way, I can't support it. So I hit this.
Okay.
And as
What does he do?
as I come out like this, he's taking his step.
Okay. Taking a step?
Taking his steps towards me.
Okay.
فلنلقي نظرة على التصوير. تم دفع المشتبه به إلى الأرض كما وصف. هذه اللحظة التي وصل فيها لمسدسه. ماركس شاهد ذلك وبدأ بالتراجع. ماركس أخذ 3.5 خطوة للوراء ولمدة 2.5 ثانية. دريجكا قام بالإطلاق بسلاحه.
How close does he get to you before you fire the gun?
Maybe to the front tire.
So show me where. Tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Okay, so right here.
Yeah.
Okay. Was he charging after you?
2 steps running.
Okay. Well, you're saying he was running?
Well, it would have been running when he got out of behind the car.
Okay. All
I
right.
gotta get off.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want you to hurt yourself.
No.
What did
need
you
help?
think then, Mike?
Say again,
What
bud?
did you think when that happened?
I've never been in that situation ever. I thought kicks were coming.
Okay.
So you thought he was gonna?
I thought kicks were coming, or at least he'd be on
You
top
need-
of
you
me.
need
No,
help?
I got it.
Okay.
Left arm's pretty firm.
So you're thinking he's gonna come kick you?
I'm thinking he's coming to do the rest of it.
Did you see him with a firearm?
No, sir, I didn't see him with anything.
Okay. What do you mean the rest of it?
Whatever beating was coming after
Okay.
that.
لقد أكد للتو أنه يعتقد أن الضرب والركلات تأتي إذا تكلم مع محام سينصحه بعدم قولها، وكان يركز بشكل كبير على حقيقة أن حياته كانت في خطر. كان سيقال له بشكل أساسي أن يقول إنها إنما حياته أو المهاجم، ولم يكن هناك ذرة شك أنه سيقتل إذا لم يطلق النار دفاعا عن نفسه، حتى بدون لقطات المراقبة لدحض روايته عن المشاجرة، فإن هذه التصريحات وحدها ستكون مدمرة في المحكمة.
So you thought he was gonna beat you and stuff?
You're not kidding.
Okay. All right. So
If he can't hit me that hard to begin with from blindside from the get-go, what else should I expect?
okay. All right. So you're on the ground. You said he was running at you, but he only took like a step.
He would have if he had cleared that and come around towards me again with
Right.
that second foot.
Okay.
That
So
would
he
have
only
been
made one step.
He barely made the second step before I pulled the trigger.
Okay. What kind of gun do you got?
Glock 23.
Okay.
Why did you think the guy was going to beat you?
Because I just got blindsided out of nowhere. Why? What else would I think?
Oh, I'm just asking. Just
Now, I've never been in that situation before. First thing I think if I'm getting hit like that, somebody's coming at me for more.
Okay.
What did the female do at that point?
The female just started screaming
Was she in the car or out of the car?
out of the car.
Okay. She's screaming that you just shot him, or
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
okay, you just hear her screaming.
Mhm.
Okay.
I'm not paying attention to her anymore because I moved away from her. She's not a threat to me anymore.
Okay. All right. Let me ask you a question. You mentioned early that you asked Mustafa about video and stuff like that.
Correct.
That there were. Do you think the video would show him charging it or
It
running at you?
should.
Okay.
There should be an angle right on that parking spot.
Okay. What happens if I told you that I looked at the video and in no time and point does he come running up towards you? He actually takes a step back.
I would disagree.
Okay. I'm just asking.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would disagree in a heartbeat.
Okay. All right. So you said after he runs in the store and stuff like that.
Did you see me get hit?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Where did
absolutely.
you come from? If you don't mind me asking, where do you
We'll
come
get it
from?
all.
Yeah, we'll get
break
into
it
that.
all for you.
But did she walks around the vehicle. Does she go anywhere? Do you see her go anywhere?
She went to the front of the store. She was inside for a while. Then she got in and moved her car.
Okay. So she came back outside the store.
She did.
Did you guys have any discussion?
The only thing I said to her was somebody's trying to see if you've got keys for your children.
Okay. Did when the gentleman, before you fired the gun, did he make any threats towards you?
I never
he
heard a
pushed you?
word.
Okay. So he didn't say, "I'm going to kick your ass."
I never heard a word of anything.
Let's kind of back up because I'm just trying to understand. Excuse me. Before you shoot him, okay, and he had already shoved you, right? You said you thought he was going to come kick you and basically finish the job.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you hear him make any statements?
Negative. He never made a word.
Okay,
until
like
I
I'm
fired.
coming to
Never said
finish.
a word until I fired, but then he never said a word when he dumped me either.
Right. So you never said, what
No,
the hell,
sir.
dude? Okay. So you guys don't have any type of...
I barely even saw the man.
No, I mean, after he pushed
no.
you were on the ground.
There's
You're trying to get to your sidearm.
no talks between us
Okay.
at all.
You don't ask him, what the hell, dude? Why'd you push me?
No,
He doesn't make any statements, I'm going to come kick your ass?
no, negative.
Okay.
Didn't say a word to me.
So he made no threats that he was going to come finish his job?
It was an assumption, definitely.
Okay. So you just assumed he was going to come do that?
Any smart person would, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I get it. I understand it. So, and then you shoot him just one time, correct?
One time, sir.
Okay.
Neutralized.
And then he just neutralize it?
Neutralized, and then that's it. There's no reason to
What do you mean? Can you elaborate? What do you mean neutralize?
neutralize the immediate threat.
Okay.
And then that's it. No reason to go overboard anyway.
Sure. Okay, I get it. And then he runs in.
I shoot to save my own ass, and that's that.
Okay.
Do you understand that? I mean, does it ever go through your mind that when you're going up and talking to these people and informing them of them being parked in a handicapped spot, that they might not take that right? That this might go sideways a little bit?
Well, sure, but that's why I take precautions as well.
Like what? What kind of precautions?
I'm a very careful person and I have a permit.
ذكر للتو أنه كان مدركا تماما مسبقا أن المشادة جدية قد تكون نشأت من أفعاله، ثم برر هذه الأفعال على أنه يحمل السلاح. قد حاول لتو أن يتغاضى عن لقاء عنيف محتمل لأنه كان محميا دون أي اعتبار لسلامة الآخرين. إنه لم يفكر في الضرر المحتمل الذي قاله فيمكن أن يسببه لهم ما عدا نفسه.
Okay. Do you think you'd go knock on these people's, or I shouldn't say knock on these people's
Yeah,
windows.
I don't
Do you think you'd go confront them?
anyone
I mean,
to their face.
It's approaching, so we use the term approach instead of confront.
Okay, but it is up to the person who's in the car to actually confront.
If you go up to somebody and approach them, they could take that as being confrontational. You can't really interpret how
that
people are
would
going to
make
take
them
it.
confrontational.
But if you go up to somebody and you approach them about being parked in a handicapped spot, do you think you'd be willing to do that and take that risk if you didn't take these precautions? Because you don't know how people are going to react.
I've been carrying a gun most of my adult life, so I can't really answer that in a way that would satisfy you.
Okay.
You know
Well,
what
I mean, would you approach these people if you didn't?
Once again, I don't know. I would have to say yeah,
Okay.
but I wouldn't know because, like I said,
You always carry.
I've always carried a firearm.
Okay. Since how long? How long have you carried it?
I was 22,
How old are you now?
48.
If let's say on the video, watch the video, or whatever, and he doesn't approach you or make any steps towards you like you indicated.
Exactly what I saw, though.
Okay, so you saw him come towards you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what happens if he didn't come towards you? Would you still
Hell
fire
no,
around?
there's no reason to. If he's retreating, then I don't need to use my firearm.
What if he's just standing still?
I still don't need to use my firearm.
قد أزال للتو حجة قوية محتملة من فريق الدفاع. عند مراجعة المراقبة كان من الممكن أن يؤكد الدفاع أن المدعي عليه لا يزال في خوف كبير من حياته حتى على الرغم من تهديد الضحية. كان يمكن أن يؤكد الحجة القائلة بأن أفعاله لم تكن نتيجة الغضب بل نتيجة الخوف غير المنطقي.
Did you see, when you saw this guy after he pushed you, did you see anything on his face? Did you see any facial expressions or anything?
Negative. All I saw was a man trying to do me.
What were his hands doing? Could you see that?
I have no clue. Okay.
Were you able to see him? Were you able to see the guy's hands?
I didn't see his hands per se, and I didn't see his face at all. I don't know what he looks like.
Could you see his legs, his feet, anything like that?
I might have seen his legs. I know he was a black guy. That's it. Or maybe his arms. I'm not sure.
Could you see anything that he was doing other than?
Watching his feet, watching his hips.
All right. So if he was standing still, you would have seen no reason to
No,
pull
sir.
the trigger. Okay.
If he hadn't twitched, I never would have pulled that trigger.
When that gun was out, did you make the decision to shoot when you pulled the gun out, or was that decision made afterwards?
Negative decision I made as soon as he moved.
Okay. Did you remember having time to think and process
No
things?
time to think.
But you
As
hadn't
soon as
made...
that gun was out, the twitch goes, that's it.
Okay, but you said you actually pulled the gun out before you made the decision to shoot, right?
I'm not pulling it out with the intention of pulling the trigger.
Okay.
Okay,
Now,
if I come up on target and I need to shoot, I'm shooting.
If you would have pulled that gun, between the time you pulled that gun, if you would have been on your back and you pulled that gun and you had it on him, if he would have been standing still, do you think that trigger would have gotten pulled?
No.
Did you have time to really look at him and tell that he was coming towards you?
The feet said he was coming towards me, and
Okay.
so did the hips.
What kind of twitch was it?
The hip twitch. Right foot comes around this way like he's going to come right past that car thing, and that was that.
How much time do you think it was between when you pulled that gun out and when you
I don't
actually
know.
pulled the trigger?
I don't know.
How much time did it seem like to you?
It seemed like a split second.
Okay.
All right, Michael, we'll be right back. So, we spoke before, I'm Detective Shields of the Sheriff's Office. We're here to do a buccal swab, which is a swabbing of your cheeks. If you consent to it, we're going to go over a consent form here. These are our forensics technicians, forensic specialists that work here at the Sheriff's Office, and they're going to get some overall stuff.
All right, Michael, if you just stand up right here, I'll just take some overall photographs of you. I'm just gonna see, where were your injuries? You
can take the shirt.
Yeah, you can take
Now,
the
this
shirt.
is basically it as far as noticeable injuries. Everything else is just muscular and on the inside.
Okay.
So as far as the only visible one, that's it.
What does that say in your tattoo?
Madness and sadness. Her initials were SAD, mine are MADs.
Oh, that's cool.
Thank you, Michael.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, man. You good on water and stuff like that? Okay.
People were just here, so I've been.
All right. Michael, we just want to talk to you, kind of seal up a few things and go over a few more things. Is that all right? Just to go over, just kind of clarify things.
Clarify away.
So, in regards to the incident at the store, you had mentioned early on when I was talking to you about after he shoved you, okay, and you fell to the ground.
Me, nothing.
Well, I mean,
A shove is somebody standing in front of somebody and pushing their arms out straight. This felt like I was run at and tackled.
okay, all right. So after he tackles you or whatever, in your words, you fall to the ground, correct?
Very cool.
Okay, because I don't want to put words in your mouth. And then, you know, you're working on getting your firearm out because of what reason?
I laid on it when I fell.
Okay, but you're working on trying to get your firearm out.
I had to drag it out from under me.
For what reason, though?
If you had just been blindsided with no idea who was attacking you, would your firearm be out next move you made?
Probably so. I mean, I don't
That's
know.
exactly
It's hard for me
right.
to make that.
That's exactly
It's an
why.
opinion. Okay. So,
No, I don't think
You
so.
thought-
That's a training.
okay. When you looked up and you see him, what's going through your mind?
What's going through my mind is he coming back at me again?
Okay. To do what? What did you think he was going to do?
Thinking he's going to finish what the hell he just started.
Okay. And to you, like, what do you mean? Kind of elaborate a little bit on the finishing.
I have no clue because he didn't do anything.
Right.
I can't elaborate on something I don't know about.
What do you think he was going to do?
No clue. Come after me again. That's
Okay.
about it. What he would have done is just pure conjecture.
All right. So did you think he was maybe going to get physical with you?
Sure.
Okay.
In a fair fight, you think you can take him?
Negative. I do not fight. Never have been a fighter.
Never?
Never.
Ever?
Ever.
Alright.
I didn't even fight in school.
هذا الادعاء يؤكد عدم اهتمامه بسلامة ورفاهية الآخرين، كما ذكر في وقت سابق على أنه كان بدراية بأن قراره بالاقتراب من السيارة يمكن أن يؤدي إلى مشاجرة محتمل أن تكون عنيفة، لكنه أكد لتو أنه ليس لديه تجربة القتال اليدوي أو التدريب من أي نوع، مما يعني أن جرأته في الموقف جاءت فقط من حقيقة أنه كان مسلحا، مما جعله يميل بشدة إلى استخدامه عندما تكون القوة الأقل لتكفي النقص. بشكل أساسي لقد كان على استعداد للقتل من أجل منع نفسه من التعرض للأذى في الموقف الذي بدأه.
I mean, what do you finish the job? What do you mean? I'm just
Whatever
trying.
he started, I have no clue what he started and what his end game was.
Right, okay.
I was in the dark about that, so that makes me believe to myself I need a force multiplier because I don't know what's going on.
What do you mean a force multiplier? What is that?
Exactly what you know what a force multiplier is.
No, sir, I don't. If I did, I don't. I really don't.
Well, a force multiplier is a sidearm. Anything
Okay.
other than your hand.
Okay. All right, I got you.
A stick.
Some type of
A
web.
force multiplier.
Okay.
You know terminology that we don't.
I
learned it from.
You do a lot of
I
reading
learned it
or-
from the. Yeah,
I seriously didn't know what that meant. And I just want to tell you this, you know, just to let you know, the gentleman you shot is deceased.
Thank you for telling me. Nobody else would give me word on that.
So,
I did ask.
okay. You got any questions for me or anything?
Other than the standard ground thing, and I did exactly what I thought I was supposed to be doing at that time, considering what was happening to myself. No, sir, I don't think I have anything else to say.
It's satisfying.
All right, approximate time is about 2,200 hours.
تم إطلاق دريجكا دون توجيه اتهامات حيث كان التحقيق مستمر، ولكن تم القبض عليه بعد 25 يوما في 13 أغسطس، ووجهت إليه تهمة واحدة بالقتل الغير العمد. خلال تلك الأيام 25 دريجكا سمي بالمتهم المعتدي لحوادث الطريق السابقة التي تتراوح بين 2012 إلى 2018، حيث هدد سائقين بمسدس كان 2 من الذكور و2 من الإناث، بما في ذلك امرأة شابة لها طفلان في سيارة. تمت مقابلته عبر WTSB بعد 18 يوما من اعتقاله.
I just want you to tell me about yourself.
Okay. I'm pretty much your normal, average, everyday person with average problems, I would suppose.
Right.
I don't know what everybody else's problems are, but
Right.
you know, I've got money troubles. You know, we've got moving troubles.
Right.
But other than that, everything.
Right. Take me back to, I'm going to call it that day. What kind of morning did you have July 19th? What, were you working? Were you walking the dogs? Were you...
I don't think this is really the right place to go into specifics about that day.
Well, I wasn't talking about the actual incident of the shooting. I was just saying what your day was like. Cup of coffee? What,
Normal, everyday day, really nothing that...
saw the wife off to work?
Yeah, nothing too surprising out of any of it.
Everybody involved with this case, a lot of people involved with this case have spoken up. The sheriff has spoken out. The prosecution has spoken out. The McLaughlins have spoken out. Al Sharpton has spoken out. And we felt that it was necessary to hear from the person at the center of this case. The McLaughlins have been very, very hard and descriptive about you as a person. Is there something that you could say to them that might give some clarity about who you are or how you feel?
I really don't think this is the right place to talk to the family directly.
Right. How many dogs do you have?
Two.
And what kind are they?
German Shepherd.
All right. It seems like this is striking a chord with you. Do you?
Yeah, I don't miss my girls. Miss my girls. It's all of them.
Yeah. Is there anything in your mind that would change now that you have a chance to look back? Is there anything you would change with what happened, how it happened? Is there anything that you would change, or I'm sure you had time to think about this?
Sure. I've had plenty of time to think about it, but as far as changing anything as events,
Right.
is what you're...
Right.
I don't see... I really no, not off the top of my head.
Okay. People that have come down to speak about the events and things of that nature, and they get the feeling that there might be a racial overtone to this incident?
No, there's almost no way of that. Number one, my upbringing really prevents that from coming out of me ever. My parents weren't that way. You know, it was always try and get along with everybody. Green eggs and ham, you know, everybody's different. And I grew up during desegregation, not segregation. Okay, so it's not like you know, was sheltered from other cultures or races, you know, from a very young age. And my professionalism beyond that prevents me from saying stuff like that anyway.
So I can look you in the eye right now and ask you,
yes,
if you are a racist, what would be your answer?
No,
You do not hate black people?
I do not hate anybody.
He was released from jail 1 month after this interview on a $100,000 bond. His trial began on August 19th of 2019.
One of the most high-profile trials in the Bay Area will officially get underway.
Michael Drake's attorney will argue that Drake fatally shot Marquise McLaughlin in self-defense.
ABC Action News reporter Jasmine Stiles joins us live now from Clearwater with a breakdown of the jury.
At 8:45 this morning, prosecutors and the defense will give their opening statements to 6 jurors. We know that they are mostly white and none of those jurors are black. It took about 2 days to whittle down the large pool of potential jurors.
And watch his reaction when he finds out in the interview that Mr. McLaughlin had expired. He's not celebrating. He's not proud. He's not happy. That shows you that it wasn't his intention or his desire to take a human life. He did what he thought he had to do in the moment, in split-second timing, given that he was attacked. It's not a high-definition video. You heard their own experts say it was standard definition. We don't even know the age of the cameras that captured the images. But clearly, it's not the best images. And we heard about this compression artifact. You're going to see that there's some wavy lines when you watch the video in the deliberation room. You're going to see this little jumping, little wavy lines over the shoulder of Mr. McLaughlin at one point, on the grill of one of the cars at one point. So it's not completely representative of what occurred. And it's certainly not high definition representative. Color seems to be off, very, very low color. You heard the store owner say that Mr. Drake came in every day. He didn't know he carried a weapon. Mr. Drake never said, hey, I got a gun. I carry a firearm. Had no idea. And how did he describe Mr. Drake? He said he was always calm. And in this video interview, he's calm. Seems a little depressed, calm. He doesn't seem proud or excited or anything like that. Very calm. Everyone that described him said he was calm, cooperative, nice guy. He had no time to think. He had no time to analyze the situation. He was attacked, he was blindsided. He says that, listen to him in his interview. Those clips the state didn't play to you. So I just hope that as you go back and deliberate on this extremely, fundamentally important constitutional issues, remember we live in America. Mr. Drake is presumed not guilty unless the state is able to overcome that presumption by evidence and testimony. We respectfully submit to you that that has not occurred in this case, that there is reasonable doubt. Common sense tells you that. We know how divisive this case is. Mr. Drake did what he thought was necessary to terminate a threat, a clear threat against his life. And as I said, when you go back and talk about it, ask yourself, if Mr. Drake hadn't pulled the gun and fired, what would have happened to Mr. Drake? Mr. Drake was the victim here. That's the sad part. The victim, the true victim, has become the defendant in a very serious criminal case. His life and liberty are at stake here on your decision. Think it through. One man is already gone. Do we want to take another man's life away from him on this kind of evidence when there's this kind of doubt in the case? Thank you for your time.
What we have to do as the state of Florida is prove beyond a reasonable doubt that that defendant committed the crime of manslaughter. Now, what is a reasonable doubt? Here is a story that I tell in closing arguments. Admittedly, it might sound silly, but it's to demonstrate what is and what is not a reasonable doubt. So let's say that you're walking your dog at night, and it's Florida, of course, and you hear some thunder, you see some lightning, you smell the rain, you go to bed. You wake up, water everywhere. Okay? Beyond a reasonable doubt, it's been proven that it rained. Now, is it possible that a helicopter went over the neighborhood, go into some forest fire, dump the bucket of water over the neighborhood? Is it possible the sun's not going to rise? Okay? But that's not reasonable based on the evidence. The evidence is there was thunder, there was lightning, the smell of rain. When you look at all that, it's been proven beyond a reasonable doubt that it rained. And one of the most important things that you do not leave when you come into a courtroom is your common sense. So common sense tells you that it rained. Now, can you speculate this? So let's say that you have some kids in the neighborhood. Let's say there's 3 kids. You got Allison, you got Alyssa, and you got Timmy. Okay? And Timmy's the terrible one in the neighborhood, and he has the super soaker gun, and he likes to spray that super soaker gun everywhere. Now, can you speculate that he took that super soaker gun, went all around the neighborhood when you were sleeping, and sprayed water everywhere? Well, sure, because you can speculate about anything. But is that reasonable based on the evidence? Thunder, lightning, smell of rain. Absolutely not. That's not reasonable. So when you look at the evidence, now the evidence in this case came from that witness stand, and it's from all the exhibits up there. When you look at all of that, we've proven beyond a reasonable doubt that that defendant is guilty of manslaughter. To prove the crime of manslaughter, the state must prove the following 2 elements beyond a reasonable doubt. Number 1, Marquise McLaughlin is dead. No issue with that. Unfortunately, number 2, Michael Draka intentionally committed an act that caused the death of Marquise McLaughlin. Okay? So, did he intentionally shoot him? Yes. The way this case has been framed for you is whether or not this defendant was justified in shooting Marquise McLaughlin. But I'm going to frame it a little differently because based on the evidence, and really here's the $1 million question. We've heard so much evidence, okay? But here's the $1 million question you need to ask yourself. Was this defendant justified in shooting a man that came out to protect his family while he's retreating, while he was unarmed? That's the $1 million question. It was the most perfect shot he could take. Hit him right here, traveled through his lung, through his heart, rested on the other side. The most perfect shot he could take. Didn't hit him in the toe, foot, knee, calf, thigh, stomach. The most perfect shot. Did he reasonably believe, as Marquise McLaughlin was backing up and turning to go into the store, that he was about to die? Because that's what that instruction says. Did the defendant reasonably believe he was going to die as Michael McLaughlin backs away when that firearm comes out? Did the defendant reasonably believe he was about to suffer great bodily harm? Was he about to be beaten to a pulp as Michael McLaughlin went backwards? Was he about to die? Was this defendant about to die or be beaten to a pulp when he took the first step back? Absolutely not. What about the second step back? Absolutely not. He's getting farther back. What about the third step back? Absolutely not. What about when he turns to go to the store? Absolutely not. And when you look at those still photographs, you'll see that Michael McLaughlin's foot is facing where he wants to go. And the only reason his eyes are on that defendant is because he's looking at the firearm that's about to kill him. His entire body is saying, I give up, I'm leaving. And pay attention to this, which I'm sure you already have. When the defendant's on the ground, you could see both Robert Castelli and Michael McLaughlin start to move before the gun comes out. They both simultaneously recognize that he's pulling a firearm. And before that gun is even out, Michael McLaughlin is retreating. Watch the video, you'll see it. And when the gun's out, he's in full retreat, and he can't go back any farther because that car's there, and that's when he takes his turn to go to the store. That's exactly what you see on the video. Michael McLaughlin is reacting perfectly to what happened. Now, can you argue that the defendant could have pulled out that firearm? Absolutely. We could even say that he was justified in pulling the gun. But that was it. There was no reason for him to shoot and kill Michael McLaughlin. It was over when that gun came out. So arguably, was he right in pulling the gun out? Sure, but could he have killed him? No, because he wasn't about to die. He's holding a firearm. He's holding the weapon that ends the whole thing. How could he reasonably believe he was about to die? He didn't. That's why it's not justifiable use of deadly force. You know what Marquise McLaughlin's guilty of? He's guilty of loving and trying to protect his family. And he died because of it. The defendant is guilty of manslaughter. Thank you.
State of Florida versus Michael Drejka, case number 1809851CF, as to the charge of manslaughter. We, the jury, find as follows as to the defendant in this case. The defendant is guilty of manslaughter as charged.
تم تحديد تاريخ الحكم على مايكل في 19 جويلية 2019، وقد طلب الادعاء بالحد الأقصى لعقوبة الإعدام 30 سنة في السجن.